Hello, good morning. My name is Jesse. I'm an occupational therapist and I work in the home health setting. I'm also the co-founder of Hacking Home Health. I get asked a lot of times what occupational therapy is, and frankly, it's a lot of things, so it's tough to explain that quickly and coherently, but I'm going to do my best today. So thanks for coming along with me on this journey. I'm going to try to do this video in one take, so what a challenge. We'll see how this goes, all right? So first, a little bit of history about OT, where we came from. Not a lot of people know that both physical therapy and occupational therapy both came from the same kind of, they grew up together, and they're sister professions and remain so today. Both physical and occupational therapy used to be actually one thing. They were called rehabilitation specialists, and that kind of came out of World War I. Believe it or not. So it's kind of an old profession, and back then there wasn't much delineation between them. They both just helped all these hurt and injured soldiers recover and kind of get back to their lives. But after World War I, the delineation kind of grew and began, and most people know that physical therapists do a lot with muscles and walking, and everyone kind of knows what PT is, but what is OT, right? Well, we focus more on things like really functional things. So dressing, bathing, grooming, toileting, or how you pull your pants up and down and wipe yourself, all the really like basic, very important things that we do, but also some more foundational things to just living. So cooking for yourself, doing laundry, everything you might do at home. And so for me, working in the home health setting, I love it. We get to actually see our patients in their natural environment. So nothing is contrived. It's not like a hospital where we're trying to duplicate someone's bathroom. I can see their actual bathroom. I get to be a little bit of the detective and see if someone's had a fall that's related, they had a fall, it caused them to break their hip or whatever else. I can see the crime scene. I can see exactly where they fell and possibly what's wrong, what may have led up to that fall. So it's really fun. I love that. But I don't want to bore you to tears with a bunch of words, so let's have a little show and tell. That's more my style anyway. So here we go. I'm going to try to bring this down. I hope you can hear me okay. But so a lot of what I do in OT has to do with creating and innovating and coming up with good solutions to solve people's problems. So my kind of workday begins with figuring out where a person is. So I kind of like to follow the adage, start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. So that's informed my practice a lot. As occupational therapists, there's a model called person, environment, occupation. And that model says that we look at a person, we look at what their capabilities are. So we'll look at their strength, their range of motion, their endurance, their balance, all the parts that make up them and what they're able to do. We'll look at the environment, which I described already, is their home. So we may see some risks there that we can fix. We may see some things that could be improved and made safer. And that's a big part of our role in the home, is trying to make the home safe. And then we may look also, occupation is harder to define, but that's basically how you're doing what you're doing, okay? So I'll show you some of these things. Some of them are inventions. I get kind of harassed sometimes when I go into Home Depot. I'm buying zip ties, duct tape, foam insulation, and people think, 50 Shades of Grey, what are you doing with all that stuff? But here we go, I'll show you. So kind of the first thing, duct tape is really a very useful thing. This is red duct tape. I use this as contrast tape. So in the home, if you've got a tub that may be white, and you have people with various visual issues where they can't discern maybe depth so much, I'll put red duct tape on the edge where they're more likely to trip, and that will help them be able to see. So that's something I do all the time. I'll put it on the corner of a stair. So that's something. Another common, very problematic issue is people have various different hand issues as they get older. Maybe they have arthritis, or they have gout or something else like that that's making it difficult for them to hold normal silverware. And so what I'll do sometimes is I'll go to Home Depot and I will buy foam insulation. Looks like this, and I cut it, and then I will wrap it around a spoon and duct tape it. And what that does is that makes this a lot easier to hold on to if you've got hand issues. Okay, so that's one little thing. Then there are ones that I buy at the 99-cent store that are a little bit built up, just a little bit, but they're easier to hold. And sometimes if you have someone with Parkinson's and they've got tremors, a weighted silverware can help them. So we'll do things like that as well. A lot of people we see in the home have various different shoulder issues and injuries, and so I like to, again, this is literally shoestring, and these are cardboard, I don't know what to call them, but basically this is something I bought at the 99-cent store. It's a door hook, so I would put this on the back of a door, and then we would put our shoestring here. This is a model example, so normally it would be much longer, but what they do is they hold on with one arm, the arm that is, let's say, the weaker arm, and if they have range of motion issues where they can't reach overhead, they'll use their other arm to help pull on this pulley system and bring that weaker arm up so we can help improve their range of motion. And it's simple. This costs, what, $2 tops. So it's very simple, cheap, and can make a big difference in someone's life. Another thing that I use often with people who have Parkinson's, this is just a ankle or wrist weight. I think it's a couple pounds, but if someone has Parkinson's disease, they may have tremors, and weighting their arm actually calms the tremors down and will allow them to, let's say, feed themselves or get dressed. It just helps calm the motor process, so that's very useful. This here is my own little invention. I don't know if you can see that all right, but these are binder clips, and again, some shoestring. So what I use this for is various people have difficulty, if we're asking them to use a walker, boy, I really should have thought this through better. When we're asking them to use a walker, we want them to keep their hands on the walker, but then how are you supposed to pull up your pants if you're having balance issues and we're telling you to use the walker? So it's like they don't know what to do. So common problem is their pants will fall to the ground when they try to stand up because that's hard enough for them. So this little invention, what this is I have them clip this on their shirt, and then before they stand up, they also clip it on their pants. And I don't want to pull my pants down to show you, but I will show that you clip on the pant. Okay, so then when they stand up, the pants come with them. So the shirt naturally brings up the pants, and when they stand, that's one less problem they have to face. Okay. Another common issue, and this is very within the scope of practice for OT, is dressing. And we have people with issues putting on socks because maybe they can't reach down low, or they have something else that's stopping them from being able to put on socks. This is a homemade sock aid. They sell these things for about $20, but this is a 2-liter bottle that's got a couple holes drilled in the bottom and a shoestring, again, shoestring strung through it. But how this works is you put a sock on this sleeve, okay? So I'll put it on there. Okay, so then it looks something like this, and if you're sitting in a chair, which we recommend most of the time, you drop this sucker down and you hold on with your arms, and then it's like fishing for feet. You put your toes in there, and then you just pull, and the sock slides on the foot, and it's really amazing. So that can enable someone who wasn't otherwise able to put on socks to be able to put on socks. Another thing, it's surprising talking to people what will stop them from doing things that will make them safer. I have many patients that will stand in the shower just because it's something they've always done, but they may have balance issues and they really shouldn't be standing. But their reason for not wanting to sit is they've got a handheld shower head that sprays everywhere if they don't have it in a place, and the place is way up high and they can't reach it. So, oh my goodness, little things like that can cause them so much trouble. So if we're asking them to sit, let's solve that problem of the shower head going all over. So this is a simple plastic thingy that's got a little bit of memory, and I just have them wrap this around the seat, and it will hold the shower head in place. And that solves that problem. You'd be surprised how many times that gets someone to actually try sitting down, and then they end up enjoying it, and they're safer, and they don't have a fall. So it's huge. It's a big deal for them. I love PVC. Probably my favorite thing to work with in the home because it's cheap. I can cut it and make it however I like. It's very modular. So this is another range of motion tool. It's just a PVC T-piece and a longer piece of PVC. What they do with this is we want them to do range of motion actions, so they use the stronger arm, which in this case would be my right arm, and then they're going to push the weaker arm, which in this case is my left, up, okay? So we would have them go forward, we have them go to the side. We do all sorts of things like this, but again, this costs, 25 cents, maybe, no, it's probably a little more, maybe $1, okay? But if you're a therapist and you're buying these for your patients, saves you some money instead of having to buy the real tool. Another thing, everyone knows OT deals with hands a lot, so we can custom fashion splints. This is a basic kind of wrist cock-up splint. It protects someone from having an injury related to their hand being in the wrong position all the time. So after a stroke or some other, maybe a nerve injury where you're not able to move your hand like you should, this would keep your hand in a healthier position while you sleep or throughout the day and protect you from having an injury. So it's very helpful. Okay. Again, with the making things, something I deal with a lot is people that have difficulty with dressing. And so what I like to do is I buy, so this actually used to be a long-handled dustpan. And I took the dustpan off and now it's just a stick, okay? But I will take a hanger, metal hanger, and I will cut it and twist it and fashion it till it looks like this thing, okay? And then I will duct tape this on the end of my long stick. And then I suddenly have a dressing tool. So they're able to reach down with this and catch their pants and pull the pants up to where they can reach them and pull them up over the hips when they stand up. So someone who has got difficulty reaching down low, this will really help them and improve their ability to dress themselves independently, which is what we're all about in OT. Kind of similar to that, this is a reacher. They have various different types of reachers out there and they can be very expensive. This one I bought at a 99-cent store and you would be shocked and amazed at what a difference this can make in someone's life. We will teach people how to actually dress themselves using something like this. So similar to the dressing stick I just showed you, this will help someone grab their pants and pull them within reach of their hands. So also a useful tool if someone's dropping something and they're falling often because they're reaching down low to pick up that thing they dropped, this can help them. Oh goodness, another problem we face all the time is people having difficulty wiping their bottom. After many times just an age-related change is arthritis kind of happens in the shoulder sometimes, and many of these people don't really have the ability to reach back like they used to wipe themselves. And it's something that they're kind of hugely embarrassed about. They hate asking for help. It's just a quality of life thing. So you would be shocked again how OTs will try to solve this problem. There are a lot of things you could buy to solve this problem, but I actually go into the kitchen, so your kitchen tools are never safe again. This is basically a spatula, but it's got a little give to it, and it's similar to maybe your fingers if you're wiping yourself. And so I will have them wrap toilet paper around this, and this extends their reach, and they don't have to use their shoulder as much. They can use more of their wrist and fingers to wipe themselves independently and then give it a little shake and drop it down in the toilet. Seems gross, but you would be shocked how effective it can be. Another thing, the OTs are very big on making the environment safer, so you'd be surprised how many falls this simple little device can prevent. This is a night light. Many people as they get older have various balance issues, one of them being that they don't know where their body is in space. And so having a little bit of light can guide them and kind of protect them, give them a reference point as they're walking to the bathroom at night. Of course, we will always tell them to turn on the lights, but not all of them do. So this can be a very huge safety tool and something we can do to make their environment more accommodating and safe for them. Again, a kind of a simple thing I get from the 99-cent store. This is a sponge, but what I do similar to the dressing stick is I take this long stick and I put this sponge on there and I will zip tie this on. Now they suddenly have a long-handled bath sponge and it costs all of $1 or $2 tops. But this will allow someone who, let's say, had a hip surgery and they're not supposed to reach down low, or they can compromise the hip surgery they just spent a lot of money on. They're not supposed to reach low, so this allows them to bathe and scrub their feet and their back and the parts of their body that they can't reach safely. Okay, so very simple thing, very cheap, very within the OT frame of reference. Okay, this is binder, or let's see, it's called shelf liner actually, and it's this rubber stuff that when you put any amount of pressure on, it suddenly grips really hard. So what I do is I cut pieces of this and I put them under various unsecured rugs, and that way instead of the rug just sliding out and someone falling, there's as soon as there's pressure on this, it grips and it will not slide. So this will prevent someone from slipping on a rug. Another useful way this is used is to put it on under a wheelchair seat if they have a, let's say they have a special kind of a, what are they called? Cushion, a wheelchair cushion. And let's say they're sliding out of that wheelchair all the time because that cushion isn't secured to the wheelchair seat, it's not bolted on. So next thing you know, after an hour or so of sitting in the wheelchair, their bottom is slid out like this, and that's a terrible posture. So I'll cut just a simple sheet like this and I'll put it under that wheelchair seat, and now it won't slide. So they can sit in the posture that we want them to sit in, which helps with breathing and, oh gosh, so much for function. So it's huge, well within the OT scope. Another kind of a feeding aid, this is a specialized spoon. I will be a terrible example here because my hands are huge, but this would allow someone who doesn't have grasp to be able to use a spoon and feed themselves. Okay, let's get into some of the more things that people would never guess that OTs would do. Shopping. If you need to go get groceries and you're homebound, you're not able to go out and shop and things like that, depending on your financial situation, you could pay someone else to go do it, and we may advise you to do that. Or we may get creative. This is something called Amazon's Dash. It's a button, and if you run out of a certain ingredient, this is toilet paper in this example, you could press this button and it's linked to your Amazon account, and it will order toilet paper which will be delivered to your home. So if you're homebound and you're unable to go grocery shopping, this could be a life changer, because I don't know about you, but I would hate to run out of toilet paper and not be able to get more. Okay, now I promised I wouldn't overdo it and I don't want to talk too long, but I've got something fun to show you. So not a lot of people know that OT does some other creative things. Now if you're homebound and you're unable to control really, let's say you're bedbound and homebound and you're unable to really control your environment, 5 or 10 years ago you would have been out of luck. You would have had to spend tens of thousands of dollars to get complicated and confusing and frequently breaking pieces of equipment that would maybe help you control your environment. But today we have things more simple. This is Amazon's Echo device, and this is just a standard fan, and then this is a Belkin Wemo switch. So I'm going to demonstrate how we can use things like this to control our environment if we're bedbound. Let's say we've had a stroke and we can't really move. Okay, so this is a voice-activated device. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate this real quick. I'm going to turn on this fan without touching it. Okay, let's set this up so you can see. No, I'm not full of malarkey. So my hands are here. Okay, Alexa, turn on my fan.
Okay.
I hope that you can see this, but this fan is a whirring. So if I were homebound and unable to move out of my bed or something like that, I could control my environment simply and cheaply, and that would really help with my quality of life. So this is just kind of a little briefer into what OT can do, but OT is really not about what we do, it's about what the patients can do. And I always like to tell my patients, don't tell me your limits, show me your limits, and let's find them together. So we like to bust through those barriers. But if you want to know what OT is, I like to kind of give this little example. I think of OT as the Swiss Army knife of health professions in the 21st century, because we've got all kinds of tools. We can do all sorts of things. So I hope this video was somewhat helpful to kind of describe what OT is. But this is what OT is to me. Every therapist has their own way of solving these unique problems that patients have in their home, and this is how I solve them. So thank you. I appreciate you watching this. I hope it wasn't boring, but try to get you more videos like this to help you understand what OT is. Thank you.